Okay, hi, my name is Mary. I'm a compulsive eater and I weigh and measure 3 meals a day off the gray sheet. I write it down. I commit it to my sponsor or someone else with 90 days of back-to-back gray sheet abstinence. I don't eat in between meals no matter what. And abstinence is the most important thing in my life today. And I'm abstinent today by the grace of God and fellowship of this community. And I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. Marathon Mary is not because I talk a lot or because I go on phone bridge marathons every chance I get. It's because I have trained for and run in 13 abstinent marathons since I've been abstinent. And it is doable. What they say you have to carbo load, it's a bunch of hooey. So if you want to do physical feats, please, people who want to do it, give them my number. I'll tell them exactly how to do it. How to carbo load on the gray sheet? It's the half cup vegetables, okay? Anyway, so I grew up in Michigan in I'm the fifth of 11 children. So I did not have an issue with food when I was growing up because I was too busy running around playing. There were no electronics, whatever. A transistor radio maybe, but not like what kids have today. So, but I started dieting because my quote role models at the time were Twiggy. And so, and hot pants were like all the rage when I was in high school. And so I would give up certain things and lose like 5 or 10 pounds and reward myself with the same things that I gave up. Made absolutely no sense, but who knew? Who knew? So I graduated from high school. I used to say in 19, I'll say it, 73, and I moved to New York. So I've been in New York ever since that time. And when I first got here, I didn't have a lot of money, so I lost weight. I'm in New York, right? I was living in Brooklyn, working in Manhattan, and I was 5'8". I was 100. I lost weight because I had no money for food, 119 pounds, and I had absolutely no self-esteem. So, and of course, anytime, even when I was growing up, if I had money, I went to the corner store to get the sweet stuff, because my mom was also a compulsive eater. They say the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree. So every Wednesday night, I thought it was my dad who called it the Fat Ladies Club, but my sister said, oh, no, the kids said that. Every Wednesday night, religiously, she'd go and she'd weigh in. The organization was called Buxom Bells, SOS, Save Our Shape. So she was, so that's what I saw, where my mom would hide food and we would find it. Of course, we would eat. We've found everything. There's a lot of kids looking for stuff, So like I said, I moved to New York, and so I lost this weight, but I also have the isms. I also started drinking in junior high and smoking. So those addictions were, crazy. They were crazy because I'd stopped smoking and I was up to 2 packs a day. I quit smoking. I think it was in my 30s, and I stopped drinking as well because I heard that alcohol was a family disease and I saw it in my relatives. So I said, well, but I quit drinking, not even realizing there's this international organization that can help me stop drinking. Who knew? But I don't have to drink to live. I don't have to smoke to live, but I have to eat to live. So it's coming up on my 39th birthday, and I was lost. I didn't, I had no reason to go home. I just didn't know where or what to do. I didn't know what to do. So I was coming up on my 40th. Well, I got a dog at 39, so I had a reason to go home. I had to go home and walk the dog. But I'm coming up on my 40th birthday, and of course I had to do this in a big way because my birthday is New Year's Eve. So I went out with a group of women, and of course, this was way before 9/11, way before COVID, way before. And you could go anywhere. And it just so happened that one of the women in the group was in Gray Sheet. And like a good addict, she says, I like you. And I went, all right. And I go home with her. Unfortunately, that's how the relationships worked as well. So the best gift I got from that relationship that didn't last very long was Gray Sheet, because she was in Gray Sheet. And it was extremely painful when we broke up, because once I started weighing and measuring my food, they tell me, the infamous they, don't worry, Mary, just weigh and measure your food. You'll be fine. I said, but you don't understand. It hurts. Well, of course it's going to hurt, but just weigh and measure your food. Eat really good food. Okay. I'm like, okay. And I got through that breakup. And what happens is every time I get through, no matter what, it just strengthens the muscle. And muscles have memory. So anytime I come up against a no matter what, like, holy crap, I go, okay, I know how to do this. Or I go to meetings to hear how people get through, who get through illnesses, death, etc., etc., etc. All the things that I've been through that I share with people because people shared it with me. So I knew I could call this one. In fact, I told my wife, I said, if anything happens to any of my siblings or my parents, these are the people you have to call because I know they got through that death abstinently. And I had no idea how I would react. So luckily I reacted abstinently, because, I didn't have a horrible food story. I didn't have a lot of weight to lose. But what I can tell you is if I ate certain things, it set up the phenomena of craving, which I could not stop. The only thing that got me to stop and stayed stop is to weigh and measure my food under every and all conditions. And I've been under every and all conditions in my 27 years plus years of abstinence. And I don't have one regret getting through those abstinent difficult times. Just give you a couple, no matter what. I think in 6 months, I found a lump on my breast. And I was like, oh my God, what do I do? Go to a doctor, have it taken care of. Luckily, it was benign. But who knew? Who knew, right? Like I said, I dated, I dated in abstinence. I'm like, oh my God. From when I met my wife, it was not a blind date, but somebody introduced me. I had a complete meal underneath the chair because I didn't know where we were going to go, so I had to be prepared. And, thank God, in August, we celebrated 22 years together. And we'd been married for 10 because it became legal in New York in 2011. And we got married in 2012. And no matter what, so I've been unemployed for 5 years. And in that time I was unemployed, my wife was diagnosed with breast cancer. And all I said was, how do we fix it? My eating a carbohydrate was not going to bring my mother back to life, my father back to life, certainly isn't going to cure cancer. I don't know. I haven't ever heard a story say, yeah, I went to D&D's and I ate 2 dozen. It cured my wife's breast cancer. Yeah, I don't think so. No. But, and it's a gift I give myself every day. I have to hear the message every day. I was used to going to face-to-face meetings in New York City. That's where I grew up. Real, hardcore. Don't eat no matter what, Mary. I don't care what. No. Stop crying. Raise your hand. Say where you're at. Just don't eat no matter what. And I'm like, okay. So, and I would hear what I needed to hear to get through. I could have been the spokesperson for the pork industry when I first got abstinent, okay? Because 4 ounces is 4 ounces. I could take that pound and I could cook it down to less than 4, okay? It didn't matter because I'm still not doing that because right now I've had oral surgery because I haven't chewed anything in over a year, so it's difficult. But there are many ways to get through it. And I lean on the fellowship because they know what to do. They know how to tell me how to get through everything. My phone, I can't tell you how many phone calls I get when somebody said, well, this is what happened. What do I do? And I go, okay, this is what you do. Okay, we're good. Okay, bye. Because I don't make the decision myself. My wife called my sponsor when I got out of surgery on the 13th, just to let her know, of course, I was okay. I wasn't able to eat for a couple of days because nothing was staying in my stomach, but I'm eating well. I'm eating well. In fact, I actually gained 18 pounds for the surgery because it said you will lose 10% of your body weight. Well, I didn't want to go the other way. So, and that was interesting too, gaining weight for a surgery. But like I said, it's a gift I give myself every day. I can't keep it unless I give it away. I do service. That's my insurance policy. against that first compulsive bite. I have no problem. Somebody calls me, listen, there's a meeting in 2 hours. Can you handle it? Ordinarily, I would not be on this meeting because I would be at work, because I still do work. And
That's 10, Mary.
thanks. So I decided to take an extra week to recuperate. Okay. Well, in the big book, there are 3 readings that I love to share about. So on page 66, it is plain that a life which includes deep resentment leads only to futility and unhappiness. To the precise extent that we permit these, do we squander the hours that might have been worthwhile. But with the alcoholic, whose hope is the maintenance and growth of a spiritual experience, this business of resentment is infinitely grave. We found that it is fatal. For when harboring such feelings, we shut ourselves off from the sunlight of the spirit. The insanity of alcohol returns, and we drink again, and with us to drink or eat is to die. And I say that next time they do the 5th edition, that they should put an asterisk there that says, see page 552. Because it doesn't say, don't have resentments, Mary, period, the end. It tells me what to do on page 552. He said, in effect, if you have a resentment you want to be free of, if you will pray for the person or the thing that you resent, you will be free. If you will ask in prayer for everything you want for yourself to be given to them, you will be free. Ask for their health, their prosperity, their happiness, and you will be free. Even when you don't really want it for them, and your prayers are only words, and you don't mean it, go ahead and do it anyway. Do it every day for 2 weeks, and you will find that you have come to meet it and to want it for them. And you will realize that where you used to feel bitterness and resentment and hatred, you now feel compassionate, understanding, and love. Another asterisk that says, see page 417, which says, an acceptance is the answer to all my problems today. When I am disturbed, it is because I find some person, place, thing, or situation, some fact of my life unacceptable to me. And I could find no serenity until I accept that person, place, thing, or situation as being exactly the way it is supposed to be at this moment. Nothing, absolutely nothing, happens in God's world by mistake. Until I could accept my alcoholism, compulsive eating, I could not stay sober or abstinent. Unless I accept life completely on life's terms, I cannot be happy. I need to concentrate not so much on what needs to be changed in the world as on what needs to be changed in me and in my attitudes. And I was talking to my wife on the way home from the doctor, and I said, it hurts when I chew, so I'm eating soft food because the braces rub on the inside of my mouth. And I told her one time, I said, it hurts if I talk too much because I didn't feel like talking. So she said, wait a minute, didn't you just tell that guy you were going to speak at a meeting? Isn't that going to hurt your mouth? I said, the gift I get by doing it, it's worth the sacrifice. So I put my contact information in the chat, and I do get up very early in the morning. So that means I go to bed by 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So I'm up at 4 because I do the 5:30 a.m. bridge meeting. And you could text me, you could email me. I put my email address as well. And I'm just so grateful that I was able to speak today. Thank you, Jack. Thank you all for being here. No matter what, do it together.